Hello once more, ladies, gentlemen, and associated everything else. This is Limsa Lominsa. I needed to come here for a few reasons, but one reason is I will give you a key piece of advice to surviving in this game with your sanity intact. Don't come to Limsa Lominsa after 2 AM. Trust me. As you can see, there are a lot of people here. I don't know who any. What is this guy? Okay. Don't know what that's about. And you can see, lots of people tend to congregate here. Limsa is by far the most popular city. That is both a good and a bad thing. On the one hand, if you want to join a guild and you just want to be meeting new people, making friends, this is also a great place to do it, same as the Gold Saucer. Please bear in mind, this is where a lot of what we call ERP takes place. It's basically people being really creepy and trying to sell you feet pics. Come to Limsa after dark at your own risk. You've been warned. So that's Limsa. You see a lot of half-naked cat girls here, if that's your thing. But over here, I have what I really want to show you. Fairly newly added feature. Well, I say new, it's been in the game for a couple of years, but some people still don't know about it. Long run, this is a big town. You'll actually start here if you choose, I think the character, if you start as a marauder, or an arcanist. I think those are the only two actually. Conjurer, archer and dragoon start in Gridania. Gladiator and Black Mage start in Uldar, so yeah, it is just the two. So yeah, if you start as a warrior or a marauder with intent to become a warrior with your jobstone, or as the arcanist, which as I've explained before, it evolves into both the summoner and the scholar at the same time. In fact, the Scholars Guild is right there. That's the Arcanist Guild. This is where you'll if you start as an Arcanist, you'll be spending a lot of time here. If while you're in the area you decide to take up fishing, which is over here, that's the Fisherman's Guild. You have to navigate that little labyrinth, but it's right there. Come down here. This is where ocean fishing takes place. I won't be doing it today because one, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't kick off for another 2 hours, and two, it takes quite some time. I'm trying to keep these videos nice and brief. But it's essentially a fishing minigame where you go out on a big barge into open waters and you can fish for like sharks and stuff. If you follow a guide, you can get some pretty nifty stuff out of it. It's a good way to level up your fisherman class. And what you get out of it, you can get the dolphin, you can get the seagull minions, and you can get this, the shark mount. You need to get high scores to get them, but who doesn't want to ride around on a giant shark? I mean, come on. So, as I said, that's Limsa. It's a lot of fun here, but be careful with it. When it comes to the community, you'll find that the vast majority of them are fine. They're good, upstanding people. So, as I said, as long as you stay away from midnight Limsa Lominsa, you'll be fine. And even then, you don't have to talk to the weird cat girls who are trying to sell you pictures of their feet. If you choose to engage with them, that's your damage, not mine. So, but that alongside the Gold Saucer as discussed in the previous episode is a good way to mess around and enjoy your time. There is a bunch of other side content in this game. If I started going into everything, we'd be here until the end of time. I'm not even joking. Like, it would take me longer to explain it than it would take for you to just discover it on your own. However, as one little bit of a spoiler, see that guy over there, the gatekeeper? This is where you'll come to pick up the rogue job at level 10. To my knowledge, the game never actually tells you this, so if you want to become a rogue, i.e. a thief, and from there a ninja, that's where you go. Should be a quest marker somewhere around there, but the game never tells you that, so I've actually encountered people who haven't unlocked the rogue job because they didn't have a clue how to do it. So there you go. There is stuff all over the game for you to do. There is so much content, it beggars, even on the free trial. And to go into some sort of detail, the free trial, as I've said before, covers all the way up to the Heavenswood expansion at the moment. It will fairly soon encompass the Stormblood expansion as well. So with the exception of a few jobs that were added later, you can level everything up to level 60 at the moment. It will soon be level 70. That includes all of the story content, all of the side content. There are only a few tiny things you can't do to stop you abusing the money system to be a robot. And like, you've got all the raids, raids are an entirely separate beast. If I go to Duty Finder, just turn that off for a moment. This is the list of dungeons for the base game. You start in Sestasha, a big pirate hideout in the middle of a coral reef. You've got the Tantara Deepcroft, Copperbell Mines, Halatali, Thousand Moors, Hawk Manor, Brayflox's Long Stop. That's where it starts to sort of get a bit more serious. Sunken Temple of Khan, beware of the bees. Cutter's Cry, beware of the final boss. Stone Vigil's not that difficult. Zemel Dark. Aurum Vale has a terrible reputation as being the slayer of all noobs. This is the part of the game where you really do need to start taking your job seriously. If you are dicking around, Aurum Vale will smack you in the face. Once you know how to do it, it's ridiculously easy. In fact, I speedrun it in Moogle Tombstone events as a quick and easy way of getting tombstones. But when you first go there, it has that reputation for a reason. It's not as bad as it used to be. The enemies don't hit anywhere near as hard as they did when the game first came out. But even so, yikes. There's a bunch of other stuff. Some of these aren't even required. Castrum and the Praetorium are the two endgame dungeons for the base game. You've got hard mode versions of almost every dungeon, possibly every dungeon in the game. There's some of them I haven't even unlocked yet. You've got Heavenswood, about the same. Stormblood, about the same. All of those to do. That's just your dungeons. All of those on the free trial. Then you've got your trials. All of these, and all of those, and some that I haven't unlocked yet because I keep meaning to do them but I haven't got around to it. Now you've got your raids. You've got the Crystal Tower raid, which you do need to do if you plan on going into Shadowbringers, by the way, otherwise the story will not make any bloody sense. The Binding Coil of Bahamut, that's the endgame for the original Realm Reborn game, but I haven't even tried it yet. Really need to get around to doing that. Heavenswood, whole different set of raids. The Alexander raids are fantastic. Stormblood, whole new set of raids. There's PvP. Didn't even mention that, but there is PvP. In fact, go to my PvP profile. This is the sort of stuff you can get get all these crystals. You can just spend them in the shop and they just unlock stuff. You can get emote this season. You can get a minion of ruby weapon. I'll absolutely need to do that. There's a mount, a traveling supporter. I don't even know what that does. I don't know what mount that is. I'll have to look that up and see if it's worth me going into PvP this season. PvP is a little complicated. It's an entirely separate rule set. It's basically a completely different game. But if you were so inclined, you could do that as well. You could spend hundreds of hours in PvP. That, to my knowledge, is still included in the free trial, as far as I'm aware. So, if you're wondering if it's worth you setting up a quick profile and logging in just to see what all the fuss is about, the answer is an emphatic yes. I don't honestly know what's holding you back. There is one issue which I've seen. This actually happened to me. I used to play Final Fantasy XI. So the email address that I've been using since time immemorial is linked to that Square Enix account. And I can't access that account because I forgot the password to it about 10 years ago. For the Square Enix account, that is, not my Hotmail account. So, in order to start this, I needed to create a second PlayStation Network account and a second email account and just link the two together. But you only ever have to do that once. The email address can go defunct after that, it makes no difference. As long as the login details remain legit. So, yeah, it's really easy to get started on this. Just knock up a quick profile, log in, do the free trial. The main game itself, you don't have to buy... Well, you actually can't buy the expansions individually. So if you're wondering why you can't just buy Endwalker, what happens is you buy Endwalker, which is currently the latest expansion, at least until the new one comes out this time next year. And that will actually give you all existing expansions. That is essentially the full game. It's not just the Endwalker expansion, it's everything. If you want to upgrade to the Collector's Edition for a bunch of other stuff, then feel free, but please bear in mind it's just aesthetic stuff, it makes no difference to the gameplay. If you do start the game, I beg you, please, if you're a new player, especially if you're new to MMOs in general, do not buy the level skip. Just because you'll be instantly raised to like level 80 or 90 doesn't mean you're even remotely competent. You will be a huge detriment to the team and everyone will hate you. I've seen this before. It's not very common. Most people enjoy the story, most people enjoy the game, but every now and then you get some try-hard kid who's bought the level skip so he can go straight to endgame raiding, thinking, oh, how hard can it be? And they don't have a clue about any of the game mechanics, they don't know how their job functions, they don't know how to do their rotation, and all you're doing is creating more grief for everybody. So don't do that. No one's gonna think you're cool. No one has ever thought you're cool. Alright? Like, everyone thinks you're a dickhead. There, someone had to say it. But yeah, that is Final Fantasy XIV in a nutshell. So let's just make sure we've covered everything. We've done character creation, we've done job roles, we've done a dungeon run together, I've explained about the side content, I've given you some starting tips. Is there anything else? No, I think that's about it. I mean, you've got your challenge log here. That tells you, you know, all the stuff you need to do. Like, this gets refreshed every week. It's a really easy way of making some money. So, there's little challenges for everything. Even the Gold Saucer, like your retainers can go on ventures, and that counts. Tribal quests is a whole different thing. You can get to know all the little beast tribes that hang around in the different areas. Like, you see here... let's go to Shadowbringers. With the Pixies in the Shadowbringers area, I've maxed out my reputation. I'm what's called Bloodsworn. They absolutely love me. And because of that, I have a fairy. So you can only get that at high rank. And also, if you recall in a previous episode, I was riding a flying pig. That's where you get the pig. By being really good friends with the Shadowbringers fairies. They will eventually give you a flying pig. So, take some time, but it's an MMO. What do you expect? So, thank you very much for listening. As one last treat, I will show you one of the later game areas. There will be no spoilers, don't worry. You will just see sort of how it looks. This is one of my favourite areas. This is Ilmeg. There's those fairies I was talking about a few moments ago. But this is Ilmeg. This is in the Shadowbringers expansion. This is very late game. So... Oh, Christ, thinking on it. Made a very big boo-boo here. If I wander around as a sage, I'm going to be tragically underleveled and I'm going to get murdered. So switch back to Dragoon so I don't die. As you can see, the graphics do look a lot better in the later areas. Call forth one of my mounts. This is my Griffin. This is actually another of those mounts you get for doing the Beast Tribe quests. In this case, the race of snake people in Stormblood. Took me a long time to get this Griffin, but damn does it look majestic. You can't fly by default, by the way. You need to unlock it. That's a whole different thing, but don't worry about it. That's 200 hours in. So, as you can see, we're in sort of a fairy tale realm right now. It is raining, but then I'm English. What do you expect? Here's a neat thing you can do. You can swim. This is only from Stormblood onwards. But yeah, you can go underwater. There's very little reason to do so, but you can. Actually. Where's my... That'll do. As you can see, I'm currently a fisherman. Which means, what I can do, while you're underwater, this was added quite recently, you can go spearfishing. There we go. Caught some fish. You can breathe underwater indefinitely, by the way, don't worry about it. So that is swimming. Tell you what, I'll demonstrate regular fishing while we're here as well, because got just a little bit of time left before this starts to get ridiculous. Stand up here. Let's see, versatile lore will do. This is fishing. Real simple. Real. That wasn't even intentional. All depends on what bait you're using, where you're fishing, what your level is. Caught a big fish. Excellent. You've got all kinds of cool, like, special moves you can use to make it easier. So I'm just demonstrating the basics for now. There's a cerulean loach. Oh, little known fact, by the way. If you cast and then use the sit emote, you get a fishing chair. Again, never mentioned anywhere in the game as far as I'm aware. There you go, that's how you get a fishing chair. Not very easy to see at the moment because it's underwater, because it's really dodgy positioning. But there you go, little fishing stool. Oh, I caught a brand new fish. I've caught a rebel before. But yeah, that's fishing. So you've been underwater, we've been in a dungeon, you've seen some healing action. I don't know what I did that for. That's what I was trying to do. Alright, one last treat. Apologies for my my guild being very rude in the chat, by the way. I don't know what they're up to. But this is the moon. I'm not going to tell you why we're on the moon, but we are. I'm riding a T-Rex on the moon. I'll leave it to your imaginations to figure out what the hell's happened here as to why I'm riding a giant T-Rex on the moon. Where did I get a T-Rex? Why am I on the moon? Why is any of this happening? You'll have to come find out, won't you? What's that big hole? What's that big cloud of gas? What's with the big blue lights coming out of everything? Come play the game, figure it out. There are very good reasons as to why I'm on the moon. There is a good reason why I've got a T-Rex. I have no idea why that person is down there. But yeah, we're on the moon. This is one of the Endwalker areas, so you'll have to buy the full game and play for quite some time before you figure out why I'm on the moon. But trust me, it's worth it. The story is absolutely worth it. Anyway, that is well and truly it for this starter's guide for now. If you have any questions, or if you feel there's anything that I need to go into greater detail on, if there's anything more you'd like to know, for in-depth guides with regards to every job, there are more qualified people than me. I would suggest you look up West Alba. He has an entire series covering every battle job in the game. They're very in-depth, they're updated to Endwalker now, so he will tell you everything you need to know about how to play every single class in the game, aside from the crafters. I don't think he's done a crafting video, but I'll have to look into that. But you've seen fishing, you've been underwater, we've been to space, so I think I've taken you on a fair adventure. So come join us here in Eorzea on the free trial if you must. If not, the full game is currently on sale as part of the summer sale in PlayStation Network at least. It quite regularly goes on sale. If you end up paying full price for the game, you're a chump. I don't think it's... You can easily buy it for like 20 quid. So... fair warning, if you are going to go for a boxed version of the game, please be aware that it is essentially just a code in the box, so if you buy it second-hand, chances are the code will be used and it's a waste of money. I know that sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people don't twig that and end up wasting money. But yeah, download the free trial. You can always choose to upgrade directly from the client, so you don't even have to worry about it. Your basic subscription is about $8.99 a month. That's even... I think the highest it goes is about $15 or whatever the equivalent of that is. But that's for with extra features and stuff. There is a companion app on mobile phones. It's for free, and if you link it to your account, you get a bunch of extra stuff. Like you get extra room in your Chocobo saddlebags for storing extra gear. There's no reason to not have it. It's free. So yeah, highly recommend Final Fantasy XIV. There is so much to do, so many people to meet, and it even has a Pikachu on the moon. So, I mean, come on, do you need anything more than a Pikachu on the moon? Pikachu that throws flowers on the moon. So, that is it for this series. I said, if you have any questions, any comments, leave them below, and I will do my best to create another part if needed. Commenting on anything that I feel you feel that I've missed. But so much to do, so little time. So yeah, if you want a game that's going to last you thousands of hours, you could do a lot worse than this. And it costs you less per month than Netflix, and we all know how crappy Netflix has been recently. So I'd honestly choose this over Netflix. It's way more fun, and it involves human interaction, which is not usually my strong suit, but even I get better at it over time. So anyway, I've rambled on long enough, so thank you very much for joining me for this series. It's been an absolute delight, and I hope to see you in and around Eorzea. Feel free to drop me a message if you start playing. As you can see in the top left corner, I am on the Zodiac server. That is the light data center for Europe, because as you can possibly tell from my accent, I am tragically English. So that is where you can find me. I don't really have a set schedule. I'm on basically any time I'm not at work. So yeah, 9 to 5 weekdays I'll be at work, but basically the second I get off work, because I work from home, it's a case of I will be straight back online. You'll find me here most evenings. So drop me a line. I'm more than happy to help you out when you get started. I'm happy to run dungeons with you and teach you the ropes. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy it.